Welcome to TYP Art Cruise. Today, we are going to South America for some adventures in the ancient Peru with Ai Apaec. If you're a Marvel fan, you probably already know Ai Apaec, who is the dark version of Spider-Man in the Marvel Universe, aka the Decapitator. However, do you know that Ai Apaec was also a superhero in the ancient Peru, especially with the Moche people? It took the form as a fierce fighter, as we can see in the ceramic bottle, or in a more cute version that I really prefer, in the form of a corn or maize. So Ai Apaec was a fighter or a hero that is mostly venerated in the Moche civilization. The Moche people, they were living in the northern coast of Peru, and their civilization flourished between 100 and 800 our era. And thanks to the well-preserved ceramic bottles, as you can see on the screen, we were able to get a glimpse into their life, which was heavily governed by a lot of religious rituals. So Ai Apaec plays a very important role in the Moche civilization. Here on the screen, we have a funeral mask with the face of Ai Apaec. It was made with copper and the shell. So you see, Ai Apaec, the superhero, got very huge eyes that's almost terrifying, and with the fierce fan looking like resembling the jaguar fans. So Ai Apaec actually, you can see more details. Typically, he wears a crown that's decorated with feather, and in the middle there's a failing head, which actually symbolizes his earthly power. On his ears, he also wears rings in the shape of snake. So in the Moche culture, people believed that, different types of animal possess different power or ability. For example, the jaguar, they run very fast, they were powerful, the birds, they could fly, the fish, they could swim in the water. And these powers can be borrowed from these animals temporarily. And this is what happened to Ai Apaec in this ceramic bottle. As you can see, he took the form of a crab. So what happened is Ai Apaec, he went on for some great adventures to chase the sun when the sun disappeared from the earthly world. As you know, the sunlight was super important, especially in the agriculture society. So Ai Apaec went on to look for the sun in the underground. And in order to fight against the monsters in the deep sea, he transformed himself into a crab with the protective shell so that he could move freely and safely underwater and fight against the creatures of the darkness in the water. And that's why he took the form of the crab. And again, as you can see, here we have a nose ornament made with gold in the form of a crab. So Ai Apaec, really made terrible fights with the dark creatures under the water that he was so exhausted that at the end of the fight, his face turned into an old man full of wrinkles, as you can see with this example. And I really love this, this mask because it's so vivid and realistic. And you see all these wrinkles on the face, you can really feel how the man or the hero was exhausted. And that is why in the Incas culture, the Incas actually refer to Ai Apaec as the wrinkled face. So the superhero of Moche, it was continued with the Inca civilization. After the fight, as Ai Apaec was so exhausted, he was actually, almost dead and descended to the underground or the underworld to join the dead ancestors. And here we're coming back to the ceramic bottle. That you can see our fighter, our hero, was carried by two birds, almost exhausted, but still have this fierce look on his face, descending into the underworld to rejoining the spirits as well as the ancestors. And after he reached the underworld, he took another form, almost to look like a skeleton. The skull, you see, but it still retains his huge eyes as well as the jaguar fangs, and together with the earrings of the snake, which symbolizes his earthly power. And this mask actually also resembles to the mask that typically used in the ceremony and worn by the shamans. So as you see, all the rituals, these bottles that were created for those religious rituals, they were surrounded by the same theme to tell the story. And I find it's very interesting because it illustrates that death and life, it's a cycle. So even a superhero, he will die after fight. He can be defeated. However, he can also be reborn. And this is the case of Ai Apaec. So what happened is, in the underground, Ai Apaec was actually united with the Mother Earth under the rainbow, and that's how he was reborn, because he is also considered as the god of creator and protector for the Moche culture, for the Moche people. And in their belief, life is a circle and death is not the end. So their protector, of course, will reborn after he completed the course and found back the sun. So here we have Ai Apaec in the form of the corn or in the form of maize. As you may know, maize is one of the most important plants in South America. In Moche culture, as well as in the Inca culture, and even today in Peru or South America, corns are still used to make fermented drinks. Typically, it's called chicha or chicha de jora, which is sort of a corn beer. Back into the ancient Peru, the corn beer or the chicha was considered as a sacred drink favored by the gods. So they were offered to the gods and was hugely consumed, during the ceremonies. And you may not aware, actually, the consumption of chicha, as well as the production of chicha or the corn, played a super important role in the Indian society in the ancient Peru. That is why we have Ai Apaec, our superhero, who took the form of the corn or the maize to protect, this important culture as well as the agricultural life for the Moche civilization. So today, the chicha is still produced in Peru or in South America and remains the favorite drink. Here you can see in South America, there are large varieties of corns with different colors. And we have either chicha de jora, which is a fermented alcoholic drink, the corn beer, as well as chicha morada, which is unfermented chicha made from purple maize and boiled with pineapple and spices. Oh, they sound so delicious. Actually, I wish I could drink them. And I wonder if I was Ai Apaec or the ancient Indian gods, which would they prefer? Chicha de jora or chicha morada? It looks like a great cocktail for our gods. Well, here ends our quick trip to South America today. I hope you enjoy this mythology of Ai Apaec, and I look forward to see you in our next session. Thank you. Bye bye.